Nick, are
Hi.
you Donna?
Yes.
Awesome, great. Well, it's really good to sit down and talk with you. I'm really excited for this. I guess I just want to start by asking you to tell me a little about yourself.
I live in New York. I got my undergraduate degree in theater from SUNY Brockport, which is upstate New York. I moved to New York City. I worked as a waitress for a long time. I was a waitress for almost 13 years. And then I started to direct. And then I was very frustrated at the material I was seeing, new plays for the theater, so I decided to write. So I started to write plays. In 1986, I got a job with a film production company. They offered to move me to LA. So from 1986 to 1994, I lived in Los Angeles, where I worked in the film business, which was it was an enlightening experience. It was a lot of hard work, long hours, but it was basically being involved in a very patriarchal system where I was one of a handful of women on a film set, and all of the scripts were really sexist.
Oh, here she comes.
Go up, go up.
Oh, no. Oh!
That nerd saw me naked.
No, man. No, I'll tell you. That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Yes, they do.
Dink, say goodbye to Felix. Man talk.
And it was very discouraging, and so I really wanted to go back to my first love, which was theater. When I went back to New York City, I was asked to become a member of the Guerrilla Girls.
My next guests are a group of anonymous feminist art activists. Please welcome the Guerrilla Girls, everybody.
Women artists have never gotten the serious attention and certainly not the serious money that male artists do. Why? The Guerrilla Girls, who call themselves the conscience of the art world, have plastered their answer all over town.
Do women have to be naked to get into the Met Museum? It says that only 5% of the artists in the modern art section are women, but 85% of the nudes are female.
There's too much discrimination.
Because I'm a theater artist, I took the girls in a new direction, and I said, let's attack theater because it's just as sexist as the art world is. So we started to attack discrimination in the theater world. The first thing we did as Guerrilla Girls to attack sexism in the theater world is we made these stickers that said, in this theater, the taking of photographs, the use of a recording device, and the production of plays by women is strictly prohibited. The management, and then it had a stat underneath. This theater is not producing any plays by women in their current season. I mean, you cannot produce a play of season after season of all white men and not hear about it from somebody. And so we stick at the Roundabout Theater, Atlantic Theater Company, Primary Stages. There were a whole handful of big commercial theaters in New York that were producing seasons of plays only written by white men. Roundabout Theater, after we stick at them for one season, they changed their entire season. They included 2 plays by women, so we took full credit for that. They'll do a black box theater season of all women. They won't put them on the main stage. Or they'll do a reading series of women. Or they'll have a conference about women. But they won't really promote women on their main stages. And what we're saying is, no, we belong here. We belong everywhere. We belong everywhere, and we should be on the main stage. Well, you know, I've been doing this kind of activist work for over 20 years. And I felt it was time to take off the mask and to share the tactics of the girls. To share how we made posters, how we did campaigns, how we organized protests, so that the next generation of activists can take over.
I've got it all.
all locked up, I'm gonna blow the doors off, pin you up against the wall. Tonight's the night I take it all. The bully's here to play, I'm grabbing all the marbles, taking air out of your ball. Tonight's the night I take it all. You better look out, I'll mock you on your keister. This ain't no Easter parade, I've got it made. I stopped you in your tracks, your stinky little engine's gonna need an overhaul. Tonight's the night, tonight's the night, tonight's the night I take it all. With just a 1-2, you'll be seeing double, burst your tiny bubble, rain like cellophane. It's gonna be a gas to shove you in a barrel and push you off a waterfall. Tonight's the night, tonight's the night, tonight's the night I'm 10 feet tall. Tonight's the night I want bash, whack, drop, jump, hack, wick, club. Tonight's the night I take it all.
I thought that was the most iconic thing I've ever heard of anyone doing. I never had heard about it before, but when I read about the work that Guerrilla Girls had done, I thought it was really incredible and something very revolutionary in the world of feminism.
I jumped in and was like, this is really something I need to be a part of, and I heard a lot about our guest director, Donna, and just like this whole experience as a whole sounded like it was going to be something that really shaped my life and a part and an experience that I really needed. So.
In theater, sometimes it can be very cutthroat and difficult at times to feel like you have a connection with people, but Donna has worked really hard, I believe, to make sure that everyone feels like they belong here.
No one was ahead of anyone else. There was no like hierarchy within the theater, and that she would be treating every single actor on the same playing field, and everyone would have an equal chance.
And I think she's really tried to make it less about the problematic things that exist in the show and more about how to move past those things, make them funny, but while also recognizing that there are things that aren't always great about the show.
There's a huge rape scene in Young Frankenstein, which I had to restage and change the intention of. It was very important for me not to promote a rape myth in the show. I had to really take a look at that scene and say, no, that's not what I'm going to stage.
She's always found ways to make the women in the show feel empowered, and no matter what song they're doing, whether it be through like the sex appeal in some of the numbers or just in everyday conversations that she has, I think she works really hard to make sure that there are always hints of feminism in the show.
And so we gave all of the power to Elizabeth Benning. She actually makes the choice to go with the monster, have sex with him, and it's no longer a rape scene. She comes out, her dress is not torn and ripped, and so the audience probably didn't even notice that was a difference because none of the lines were changed. It was just the intention of the scene was changed.
That she just was an incredible person to work with, and I was really excited to have the opportunity to learn from her.
It was really like banging your head against a brick wall to get people to talk about discrimination and sexism in the arts. I guess there was just not that much interest. There was not that much movement. People were very comfortable in the positions that they were in, artistic directors or even literary managers, who tend to be women for the most part, just wanted to go with the status quo. There is going to be a certain amount of make your own opportunities that you're going to have to deal with. And be aware and be savvy and be strong and endure, because endurance is what it's all about.
We've left the endless rat race and same old thing far behind. Becoming happy-go-lucky folks. Winning and losing, it's all part of choosing a lifestyle of cocktails and smokes.
I once was just a milkman.
I used to be 39.
I sold men's ties for $5 a piece. Fill her up again, Harry.
I'm an ex-plumber.
I pushed Tupperware. And I used to be Sister Bernice. Then one day I decided to travel, see a bit of the country, get away from it all. I arrived with a dirt road behind me, up ahead fun and freedom on a great neon stroll. Everyone needs a little Vegas, so ho hum needs a little Vegas, cloudy.